What's your name?
Hey, I'm Carrie.
Hi, Carrie. John.
Nice to
That's
meet
Neil.
you.
I'm Neil.
Hey, Neil. Nice to meet you as well. Thanks for talking to me.
Of course.
You're welcome.
What is your outlet?
Paste Magazine.
Paste.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
we do pop culture news. So if you can believe it, I had not read your book. And I asked for a screener of this show, and they didn't have one. So guess what I did last night? Read your book.
You read the book, and you looked at the trailer. Did they have anything to show you? Any clips?
Just
or
the
anything?
trailer. So I had to just go by that, and I was like, not a chance. I'm going to read the book. So it was kind of a fun night.
Good for you. That's a good book to read. That's
It
a
was
nice. That's a
awesome.
nice evening.
I love a book, and I was excited to read it. But it made me have questions, maybe.
I hope it
I maybe have answers. Maybe
get a deep
So-
dive into the Neil Gaiman verse, though,
Well, I'm
because
just
it's
a
pretty
little-
exciting.
I'm a little curious. Did you grow up religious and then thought, what if?
You know, the weirdest, loveliest thing. I love religion, but I always love religion as a thing to play with. As you know, I probably was the only kid in my school who actually did read the Book of Revelation, the Revelation of St. John of Patmos, the Divine, for fun. Just
Yeah.
trying to figure
It
out.
is a fun read.
It's a fun, barking mad read.
Yeah.
It's just trying to figure it out in the same way that I would try and figure out how DC and Marvel characters related to each other. You're trying to figure out, okay, what are the rules here of the end times?
Yeah.
So when it came to writing, Terry Pratchett and I got together and started writing the thing. The generally speaking, I wound up with the sort of the weird religious burden of it. I tended to write characters like the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, or at least Four Horse People of the Apocalypse,
Right.
and so forth. But it was very weird. We expected, Terry and I, when we finished the book. Back then, you know, Salman Rushdie was in hiding with the satanic verses, and I do remember Terry and I being rather nervous about the book being published and the idea that maybe we would have to get in contact with Salman and ask if we could come and share his back bedroom or something. And instead we got nominated for awards for religious fiction and stuff. It was just like, okay, this is weird.
Yeah, it's a very interesting
People seem
book.
to like this. I had a former Archbishop of Canterbury come up to me at a book festival and tell me that, you know, his son was an enormous fan of mine, but he'd read Good Omens and loved it. It's like, you're the Archbishop of bloody Canterbury. That's so cool.
I'd say that's a win. How do you feel
Absolutely.
about playing an angel?
It's you know, it's nice. I think just piggybacking on what Neil was saying, you know, to take these stories and these legends and these myths and kind of explode them into a narrative that we're sort of familiar with and yet are rediscovering in real time, kind of, is exciting. And so to play a character, the Archangel Gabriel, which you've all certainly heard that name and have an idea of who that is, the flowing robes and the flaming sword and the whatnot, and then kind of turn it into what he really is in the hierarchy and the bureaucracy of heaven is he's just a boss that you hate. He's just a bad boss. And the guy that's telling you you're always doing it wrong, and could you please do it quicker, or could you please do it better, and then kind of getting just enough in the way to make a hash out of everything. And so it's funny. It's funny to think of these creatures, and Neil does it in some of his other work as well, but playing off of these myths and these gods and these angels and these devils and these demons as if they are real people with real problems. That's I think why you said, like, people really respond to it and don't get offended by it, because it's really looking at the humanity involved in it. And it's very funny and it's very smart, and I think that those are things that I enjoy about all of the entertainment that I consume, whether it's novels or television or films or music or what have you. If it's funny and smart, I'm on board.
Yeah. Well, and boss, you've got that down.
Yeah, I can play a boss. That's true.
It's very good. What made you go with a series instead of a movie?
For many, many years, Terry Gilliam tried to get a movie made, and I would have loved to have seen it. I remember in 2002, he had Robin Williams signed up to play Aziraphale, Madame Tracy, and one of the demons. And he had Johnny Depp to play Crowley.
Yeah.
And I think Kirsten Dunst was going to play Anathema. He had this amazing cast together. He had almost all the money in place. He went out to Hollywood expecting people to fall over themselves to give him the extra money and to make the thing. And instead, people were hiding under desks and pretending they weren't in. And it just never happened.
The amount of movies that Terry Gilliam has almost made.
I know. And it would have been beautiful. So but I'd read Terry's various scripts, and they were brilliant, but they all suffered from the desperate need to condense an entire novel into 2 hours.
Yeah.
And what is great about this is I've got 6 hours. And so not only do I get to tell the story of the book, but I get to do bits that aren't in the book. There's my favorite episode is the first half of episode 3, which is just 6,000 years of Crowley and Aziraphale being friends through time. And it's
because it alludes to that.
It's mad and it's goofy, and it starts in the Garden of Eden and it ends in the 1960s in Soho, and on the way you get to visit the French Revolution and the Globe Theatre and King Arthur's Arthurian Britain and stuff. So it's just fun. Mad, and it expands the whole story.
Yeah, I prefer the books and series. I love that now they have the money to do that and the space to do it. I feel like now creatively. Yeah,
I think now when you have these, the streaming platforms that exist to kind of provide, the definition of television is incredibly fluid at this point. I don't know if this qualifies as television or not. I don't know where it lives, but it's long form storytelling.
Yeah.
And the ability to do that now is unlike any other period in time, and it's great.
We're in a very strange and beautiful place with Good Omens, where nobody is breathing down my neck going, this is beautiful, this is wonderful. How do you expand it into an ongoing series? How do we make it something bigger and keep it ongoing forever? The idea of, no, we're going to make something fabulous, and that's what we've made.
I don't have an end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to watch it.
Ends are great.
Now that I've read the book, can't wait to watch. Thank
You'll
you
love
so much for chatting with me.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you.